So, hello everybody. This is the first ever in history People's Exhibit, the only show in the known universe that is not owned by a Russian oligarch. My name is Andro Dars, and this is my Battle Royale mode partner, Ed Hicks.
Hello.
Wow. Since this is the first time we're doing this, I think we should probably tell people what is it that we're doing. So, Ed, tell them what are we doing here?
We're basically doing a kind of podcasty, talk showy thing about video games and video game related things, and occasionally, I imagine there'll be some unrelated things with video games. But that's us. We're people. We inhabit the world, which video games also inhabit.
But will we inherit the world?
Sorry?
Will we inherit the world, though?
I don't know. I mean, you can be meek on occasion, but I don't feel I don't feel very meek. So I'm not sure about that. Wait, wasn't there an Oglaf where there was a dude called The Meek and he took the world and they were like, oh yeah, it was a mistake.
I think there was, yeah. Hopefully he wasn't a lizard because almost everything in there is. Have you seen that David Cameron bit where he's lizarding in the mirror?
Oh, that was so good. I saw that earlier. It was perfect. It was like,
yeah.
He was a good boy. Who got it? Who got a majority? Yes, I just want to kiss you.
That was excellent.
So good.
On that happy thought, we're just going to transition to our first topic here, which is a bit of meekness going on Kickstarter, which always happens. There's always drama on Kickstarter. And this time around, it's regarding a game called Division. No, it's called, what is it called?
Dimension Drive.
Dimension Drive. I was going to say Division Drive because the screen is divided into two in the game. Well, you'll see in a second.
Yeah. I saw the video.
So what happened, Ed? Tell us.
Okay, so what we're looking at is a fairly modest goal for a Kickstarter of about it's exactly 30 grand they wanted.
In euros.
In euros, yes,
Yeah.
no doubt. So that's about the same in dollars. It's about 25 grand in pounds,
Something like
less.
that, yeah.
Something that you get the idea of the value. It's about like a year's wages for someone with a meh job. So, well, depending where you are. The game itself is it's a shmup, shoot 'em up, but with one of those kind of switchy mechanics to give it something more than the games that were made 15, 20 years ago. Very reminiscent of Ikaruga, where there's the on-off switching, where in Ikaruga you're black and white and you absorb your same color and you destroy the opposite color. With this one, you could have impassable sections on one side of the screen, and so you have to flip to the other where maybe it's safe, and then you shoot something or change it. At first, seeing the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, it's one of these. But then later on in the video, it kind of showed a bit of some ideas of how you could use this in a somewhat interesting way. I did still think the side-by-side was a bit, but I mean, it's a game trailer, fine, whatever. Anyway, the actual story is that basically they got trolled. One of these things where someone puts in a really big amount of money, pushes it over the limit, everyone breathes a sigh of relief. It's funded, it's done, everyone's happy. And then it gets pulled before the end, or it's somehow invalid and breaks the Kickstarter. Now, one part of it I don't understand, and maybe you can fill me in on this, is I thought Kickstarter had protection for the last couple of days. If you put in money, you can't take it out.
Yeah, it does, and that's the interesting bit, because so the money was put in the last 24 hours, so it can't be pulled. And they were, for a bit, they were successfully funded, so there was no problem. But then, well, the way they tell it, there is no word from Kickstarter. So there's only sort of perspective we have is from the developers. And then they went, oh, by the way, Kickstarter sent us an email saying that the money was given or pledged in a fraudulent manner.
Oh.
And it's invalid. And then the Kickstarter went ahead and invalidated their campaign. I'm going to actually switch to the article over there. So... and which is, I don't know, there's a couple of funny bits there. I'm not claiming anything. I'm not saying there was some foul play or whatever, but their biggest tier they can pledge at was 7,000 euros, the amount that they received at the last moment. Which is also how much they needed. They needed 7,250 or something like that. So when
they got pushed just over.
Yeah, when Jonathan, the secret mystery man who, with the generic name, who gave them the money, They had only 250, and then some other people gave them 250, etc., etc. But it is interesting how I wonder when that tier appeared. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to check. I was not aware of their Kickstarter even existing until this whole thing happened. But also another interesting thing is way the media also portrays this person, whoever he is or whatever interest they may have, as a troll. Because it could also argue that they were trying to help them, because everyone knows the last 24-hour pledge cannot be taken away. So you take an empty credit...
48.
Maybe 48, even better. So you take an empty credit card and or whatever, you know, and pledge the money. You don't have it, possibly. And it goes over, and whatever money is there will be received. Because there's, as far as I know, there's always money they don't receive.
This tweet by Rami.
That was weird, right? That's
It's like any opportunity to tell people that he ate duck noodles for a month.
that one is like, I like Rami, but that was a bit weird because surely he could afford to give away $1,000. Not saying he should or he shouldn't, but it's like
No.
saying
But,
that yeah.
He's not gonna put him in poverty. Maybe he was making a joke about how he handles his personal finances, like, you know, he would budget and this
Yeah.
would be just like a fun thing, and he's talking about the struggle of developers, and it would remind him of the struggle of developers. Well, but he did come across as a little bit like
a tiny
just
bit.
shut up.
Yeah, yeah, it was a bit. So that was pretty weird. But I would even think that it was not a troll, maybe, but someone was genuinely trying to help them. If it wasn't the case that they orchestrated this, and it was like, oh shit, my friends are missing 7,000 euros. Let me sort of. It's a silly way to help them, but it could be understood as that, like, attempt.
One thing I was looking at just now was
Yeah.
I looked at the kick track for it, and I was just looking at like the funding curve, and to be honest, it looked like the kind of thing that would get funded. It looked like the kind of thing that would make it in the last stretch. I don't know. It depends.
This is with the thing taken out. So
Yes, I've already
yeah.
said it's fallen short of the goal, so it doesn't
Yeah.
even include it in the stats, it seems. But usually once you get to that kind of stage in the last few days, like, you'll make it, generally. I mean, maybe it was the case that it wasn't going to. That was one thing that puzzled me about the story as well, is I was like, thinking like, oh, what is this? Is this somebody who is involved in Gamergate or something, and this is like a known trolling, or is this just
Yeah.
like a random thing?
Because they
and
just
everyone's
label the
assuming?
person. Yeah.
So I thought I thought maybe there's some part of the story I'm missing, and this person's, you know, been public about certain things and actually has had some organised thing against it. But it's just Jonathan pulled out 7K with this game that I never heard of. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, looks like a kind of mid-sized thing. It doesn't 490 backers, it says.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But then again, if you think about it, okay, Jonathan, whoever he is, didn't pledge. It doesn't make it. That's it. I mean, it doesn't. It's weird to suppose that if Jonathan wasn't there, someone else would have been like, "Oh, guys, come on, 7,000, let's do it." And then,
Well, not
Jonathan
7,000,
pledged.
but it would have probably gotten closer than this, because, you know, once you're like, if you, I don't know, maybe this is just my experience, but if I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, and I could actually make a difference to whether it happens or not, I'll put some money in. But if it's like, well, this is definitely not going to happen, I'll just watch from the sidelines.
Yeah.
Or if it's blown past it, I'm like, I'll wait for that to come out because I'm not that interested in it. If it's something I'm not super interested in, like where the campaign is does strongly affect what I decide to do. I don't know if that's true for many other people.
Yeah. No, sure. Yeah, because if it seems like it's gonna happen, then you go for it and whatever. Yeah. No, understandable. Anyway, they've apparently had a lot of support after that. Again, they're saying people trying to whatever help them. See, Rami wants to give them $1,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe it could happen. I personally didn't really. I watched the videos. I kind of read about the game. I don't know. It doesn't look
It
like
looks
something.
nice enough.
It's all right.
I'm not
Yeah.
super excited about the idea, but I'm like, oh, okay, there's a
Yeah.
mechanic. I see what they're going for. The art that they've got with it is well presented. Like the actual shooting section, I was like, that looks nice. That looks like something I've seen before, but it looks nice.
Yeah, it
It's
looks adequate. Yeah, there's a weird bit where this girl is holding all these guns in her hands, and then there's no bit where she would ever use them. She's always in the ship. But anyway,
Maybe there's a bit where you're really damaged and it's like Zero Suit. What's her name?
maybe,
Just
yeah.
in space. You can survive for about 15 seconds, then you just suffocate.
Another slightly ironic thing, like probably the final thing I want to say about this, is that tier, which gave you the 7,000 tier, has what it gives you is it lets you have a another character another protagonist you could choose, or maybe have them both. And you could be that protagonist, but in the thing, the way they describe like what this is, they also, it could be you, your friend, your family member, a fruit. So what I think would happen is that Jonathan was a fruit, and fruits can't pay,
It's
so
just an orange.
orange. And then he realized that he was an orange, and he just puff and vanished out of
So
existence.
this
And
main character is called Jack,
Jacqueline, but spelled like ghetto style.
with a, well, not ghetto. That's spelled like just the boy version.
Oh no! There's a full name appears as Jacqueline.
Oh, it just in the tier description.
But-
That's the only
yeah,
time
yeah.
I saw it. Is it just says JACK, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
okay.
They shortened it because I guess too many
There's nothing wrong with
letters.
that. I'm
Yeah,
just like, okay,
yeah.
fine. So yeah, maybe the mystery donor should have been Jill.
Maybe.
That would be cool.
Or
Nobody knows what they did, but now they failed the Kickstarter.
Mr. Hyde. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Cool. Right. So that was our little discussion about the
Mentioned
drive.
Drive.
Yeah, I saw it. It's very.
I have a feeling we'll be seeing this game. Because of this news. It will get
Yeah,
some.
probably. Maybe some publisher's going to pick it up, like Kiss or Strategy.
Wait,
Strategy First.
One last thing on this. What's the rules for like doing a Kickstarter of the same project again that's failed? Can you do it?
I think you can do it. I don't think there is a rule against it. I've never heard about a rule against it if
Okay.
there is one. So
I just can't think of any examples where somebody did it, failed, and did it again. Actually, no, I know someone who did that. They changed their goals way down. This is like somebody's personal project in LA. Another one of these ones where I put in a bit because
Did it work?
Maybe make it, and nice person. So yeah, I guess you can do that.
Did they manage to get their goal?
They went down from like 30 grand around this area to like 5 grand, and it was pretty much just cut out cameras. They were trying to do they're still working on trying to do a film, and it was like, you really don't need all these cameras. Actually, we could cut this and this and this, and it's like way more efficient. I think that's also something people need to learn. I don't think I think 30 grand for a shmup is, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
probably if there's like
They
2
have
developers
like
per year.
7 or 6 people working on it, which would.
For
I
how long?
I don't know. I don't know how many hours they're putting in, obviously, but yeah, it's a pretty big team for what I've seen of the game so far. Anyway, whatever.
It depends where they're based as well. Like, where are they based? Euro, so somewhere.
They
in Europe.
are either Denmark or Netherlands. I don't remember, but one of those Northern European countries.
One of those.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, one of those that are not in the south.
Yes.
Speaking of directions and parts of the world, let's speak about the East and Konami. Because they've been having a PR nightmare, which is kind of not really like just now, but it's been happening for some time now, I think.
It feels like not so much a PR nightmare because you can wake up from nightmares. It seems more like
Can
a
you?
PR
Can you?
visit the gun shop and the guy calls the police after you leave and then reads the newspaper the next day and finds out that your whole family was
Oh, Jesus.
and then you show yourself in the mouth.
Wait, which part are we here, the public?
Oh, we're the guy in the gun shop.
Oh, at least we're not the gun. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're not the gun. we didn't shoot Konami. They shot themselves. Their families, Kojima, etc., and all those poor people are going to have to work on mobile phone games.
Yeah, apparently they have a lot more stuff than just video games, which I found out today. But anyway, let's start with their latest thing, which was one of their latest things, which was the clothing line, the MGS clothing line. It is currently on the screen. It should be. So when they first announced this, people started going like, "Oh, it would be probably like the Quiet, the character with the boobs. So it's going to be like very booby, kind of." Which we're going to get to, the boobs. We're going to be very booby clothing. But apparently it's not. It's called, I think, Metal Gear Solid 1984, 86, or something like that. So it's that stuff worn by hipsters in this collection, the 2 or 3 hipster people. Yeah.
Do you find these people in these images... Okay,
Depressed?
so you know when you take a picture of a model and they can look like sad and pouty, but it's not like they don't look like they want to be there. It's that they've been told to look sad and pouty.
Yeah. That's
But
what's
here,
going
don't
on.
you,
No?
don't you find that they look kind of like they really don't really want to be there?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, this is kind of, I think this girl, that's her thing. She just kind of, like, that's way, like, the standard, how, like, you have a standard face and they go, like, oh, you need the standard face, and then you go, like, you have your mirror face and your orgasm face and your whatever, oh, I'm terrified face, and then is your standard face, and I think with that girl, it's like the standard face is like, oh, God. Oh God.
Oh
It's
dear.
oh yes. It's
How
so
did it come to this?
but yeah, I mean at first I was like, oh really? Like Metal Gear Solid stuff, the clothes, I guess, whatever, video games. And then I started like looked around the shop, which is Insert Coin. You know the shop probably.
Insert coin. Let's go.
And
Oh,
I
right.
found some surprising stuff in there. I mean, I know that most things, most series, most franchises have merch they sell.
Yeah.
But there were some unexpected things. So let's switch to that. For example, this is Dark Souls. This T-shirt is called Soul Bros or Sun Bros. Sun Bros.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parappa the Rappa hat on the screen. Um,
Oh, the sun thing. That's not. That green doesn't. Okay.
yeah. So this is, and that was pretty. This is something that the third one you'll see it probably in like 5 seconds. Is something I think you will enjoy. This is a bathrobe worn by Ryu.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is gi as a
Yeah.
bathrobe?
And my favorite one is this number 4. They're gonna spin around again. Are the gloves from Watch Dogs with a special pocket where you can put your oyster, so you can hack yourself into the tube and then hack the train to get on the train.
Oh no, you know what that's for? that because it's in the back of your hand. What you can do is you can lay your hand down on the thing.
Yeah.
The card reader reads it. The ticket guy, who makes sure things are flowing smoothly, notices you and fucking gives you a low 5, and then you go on your way.
Yeah, well, in the ideal dream scenario, that may be the case. I don't think that in reality, going through London Underground, anyone
I
would
think a lot of
anyone would high
Fucking
five you.
prick.
Yeah.
It would just fall out of his hand as he turns it over, and everyone would be like, "Oh, God, tourists."
Take care of your oysters. So yeah, so apparently that happened. But it's funny that it comes just like a day or two after the whole Kojima thing, and then they're like, "Oh no, guys, it's fine. Here's shit you can buy. It's gonna be okay." I don't know if it's necessarily like so they have like those emergency buttons they push
Oh,
where
right,
like
yeah.
oh we need to distract them, and
What, like how every time something goes wrong in the UK, they like, right, royals, better squeeze out another fucking blizzard.
yeah, could be. I mean,
Looks like Bank of England's going to raise interest rates. Time to get fucking.
Oh, by the way,
The people don't know what an Oyster
Yeah, yeah.
card is.
You tell
It's
them.
basically the Metro card in the London. It's like, an RFID, what's it? You tap it on the thing and it goes, oh, okay, you've paid this much, you get to go on the tube. It's the same as the Metro card system in New York or anywhere else.
Yeah. So yeah, it gets you on the bus, it gets you on the tube, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like a day after that, I think, or 2 days after that announcement, also the doll thing came and happened, where they have was it like a minor controversy about it because it has squizzable boobs, apparently high tech as shit. Because it's probably not very easy to do more squizzable parts on a less squizzable. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Comes with an extra head in the package.
Yeah.
This is Kojima going. We're getting very excited about it, and
Oh, look at those ripped up stockings as well.
yeah, and the guy with the creepy hands, the creepy nails, is the guy who designed the doll.
Oh, okay. I was going to
So-
say, because usually for shots like this, if this was like a publicity thing, you get
Yeah.
a proper hand model in, people who are like not allowed to do any work with their hands. But those look like, I don't know, basement.
Yeah.
They look like the hands of someone who would buy this.
Well, I mean, then it works, right? The guy who would make it would be also the person who would buy it. So
Yeah,
that-
it's good. You should always,
Yeah.
when you're designing and creating something, you should make something for you first. And I guess that's what this guy's done.
Absolutely. I remember Kurt Vonnegut writing at some point that you need to have someone that you think is going to be your like ideal reader, someone you write for. So
That
like
makes
he had
sense.
his sister or someone that would like he would have her in mind as like a reader or whatever. So
Oh, sorry. I
Uh,
thought you were talking about this guy modeling was talking about his sister.
no, Kurt Vonnegut was talking about his sister. The guy could be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
His sister got you this doll with
I-
ripped up
I'm not-
thighs
I'm
and
not gonna-
squeezy tits. Do you like it?
I'm
If
not
you
gonna
don't,
judge.
We can swap the head, and you can have this smeared crying makeup.
Maybe he'll squeeze one boob and she'll squeeze the other one. And I mean, it's their family business. I don't want to interfere. Yeah, and so today, or yesterday, today, I guess both days, there's been reports because they never said it in English. The reports are sort of trickling down with people who speak Japanese and translate interviews into English. That Konami is, in terms of the video games, is going to be switching to mobile stuff because that's where the future is. Man, if I had a penny for every time I've heard the phrase "mobile games are the future of gaming," I would have like maybe 15, 20 pennies at this point.
Yeah.
Which is not that many pennies, but you know.
Well, okay. Let me put it this way: I'm about to embark on a job at my work. I'm not going to say what the company is, but you may see a lot of commercials for their game on Twitter, for example, and it involves a lot of boobs advertising.
Oh, again, boobs.
And it's not a game. The thing is, mobile gaming being the future of gaming. The first big hurdle before I can really say I agree with people on this is they had to start making games instead of like squeezing people simulators. But I mean, this is shit everyone knows. It's not. This isn't me preaching to the choir, I think. So.
Have you ever tried to play that game? Because I was thinking actually, like, hey, I mean, it's been all around the place, and it's probably shit, but I should give the unnamed game a go, just to see if it is actually a thing. Like, is there anything there, or like, did you? You know, like maybe no one expects to anyone, and no one is expected to get there, and you get there, and they go like, oh shit, there's someone is actually trying to play our game. Ah!
It's actually amazing.
Or maybe it's actually really good, and we just don't know. Because I've never seen any reviews of it. I should do a review of it. The unnamed game.
The unnamed game. Yeah. Throughout the whole thing, like, it's all blurred out, and you never and it beeps every time you say its name. I think we're going to create a bit of a barrier between my professional inverted commas life and that.
Hey, my professional life is to review games that I don't know. I mean,
yeah, well, it's fine. I'm not dealing with games. I'm dealing with mobile shit. Yeah, but I do think there's potential. It's just literally no one's making It feels like an entire different set of people showed up to the medium. It wasn't like people who are making games were given phones and were like, "What can you do with this?" It was people who had phones and were scumbag businessmen were like, "You can put games on this," and like, "What's the game?" And they go, "Never mind, just go."
Yeah, something like that, I think. Yeah, but I mean, also interesting to know about Konami is that like something else. It's not something like, oh my god, I'm so amazed, but I didn't think about it that way. Apparently, it's a pretty old company. It was made in like 1969, and it does a lot of stuff besides video games, and it always did. And it has like health centers and stuff like that. I mean, like whatever, not the health centers where you get not like a hospital, but where you like a gym type situation. Yeah, it's about they make actual toys, like without boobs. Sometimes I know, right? Like, who does that? So yeah, I guess it's not maybe that's such a big deal for them. I'm not sure how big of a not market share, but the like sort of income share was the video games for them at all. I guess it was pretty sizable, but if it's drying up, it would make sense for a company that is not really like from the beginning a video game company to just be like, ah, fuck video games, whatever.
So. There is also similarly like what Sega's doing. They're like, all right, well, fuck hardware. We're just going to stick with these few franchises that are keeping us from drowning, you know.
Yeah.
And go with that. And that's the thing, you know. You see these moves and you go, oh, this is terrible. This is folding. This is folding. But then you see other companies that you really like, and they're like, everything's fine. Then they disappear because they didn't react to markets changing or them like failing.
Are there many like that though?
Well, like companies that just
they didn't like go to mobile or something and try to not drown, and then they just disappeared. They were like, oh, by the way, it turns out we don't have any money. Bye.
Wasn't that the story with like THQ? Not really.
Yeah, I guess yeah, something like that.
There are other examples, but I'm not familiar.
Yeah, they were kind of. It was known for a bit that they had trouble, but then they were like, oh no, new sponsors.
Oh
no, they
Capcom
said no
as well. They've super turned it around though, but they were pretty screwed in the last couple of years. But like Monster Hunter, and they made a deal with Sony on Street Fighter, so they're pretty much paying for Street Fighter 5, I believe. But yeah, Capcom was in trouble. But they changed it a different way. They basically were like, oh, we were good at making games, then we made like loads of terrible decisions. Instead of going, well, let's become a phone company, they went, oh, let's go back to making good games. Whereas Nintendo's, they've never really been in financial trouble, but even the whiff of them being in financial trouble scares the crap out of them and their shareholders. So they were more like, let's make amiibos, let's make new silly technology, just kind of modus operandi of to just make something and it either is a flop or amazing and somehow never get in debt.
Yeah. They have as far as I know, they have a lot of money, like a huge money reserve that because they were pretty frugal with their spending, and it's like doing the Amiibo stuff is kind of also going to the roots in a way, which is something people don't remember. But one of the way, and it didn't really come over to the West, but they got big. They had their first success in the digital world with like a watch type device where you could play a game. Yeah, it was like I don't know. So it was like you could wear it on your wrist and you could play a little game. It was like the prototype of whatever Game Boy kind of. It was a mobile gaming device, not mobile, portable gaming device because it wasn't actually you can make calls with it.
Truly the prototype of the iWatch.
Something like that. Yeah. You imagine like a Casio calculator, but you could play a game on it or something like that. But the watch calculator watch that you have to have if you're a true nerd, which
or a terrorist.
Or a terrorist, yeah. They're nerds, really. Those terrorists, they're so keen on blowing stuff up.
Bomb spotters.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's our Konami news, I guess. Well, we'll see. I mean, they're still. Oh, they did say that they're committed to MGS, and
Well, they're
but
committed to
not Silent Hill apparently. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is set up to because they sold a lot of pre-orders, but so far haven't they? It is all pre-order, I think. So they would be in some degree of trouble if they just went like, "Fuck it, we're not doing it."
Yeah, I guess Kojima's he's still attached to the project until it's done, though, isn't he? I think he's under contract. So
yeah, I think they moved him.
His work day is super fun.
Yeah, at least he was happy about the boobs. I mean, he got something to look forward to. This squeezable. Squeezable boobs. So, GOG Galaxy happened.
GOG Galaxy, yes.
Or GOG Galaxy, Girl Games. I don't know what people call it because
I call it GOG.
I call it GOG
because like an old stop motion animation of like cavemen that was always shown around Christmas. It was called like the GOGs. And it was really cool.
Anyway. Yeah. So it's I guess a Steam competitor sort of like as in a client way as opposed to just a website. And I tried it. Anyone can get on it because it's an open beta, and so you just need to tell them like, "Oh, can I have this?" And they'll be like, "We'll think about it." And in 2 days they'll send you the thing.
Okay.
And it pretty much looks like the browser thing that you could see, like you just stuff and your library's there, and like Steam, you click a thing, download. It's very much like everything else. The things that are probably different are that it takes a while for it to realize that you actually purchased something because to properly test it I had to buy something through it, so it goes. I got the Witcher stuff because if you get the Witcher, because I want to try the Witcher 3, which is so hyped up that I thought at least something hyped up I should get. And that is literally how I thought about it. And so if you get the one, actually, I might as well, this could be useful for people who want to buy it on GOG. Not a sponsored message, unfortunately. So if you have one and...
you guys want to.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, if you want to give us money. If you have 1 and 2, they give you additional discount on the third one. And 1 and 2 are like £1 and £2. And then you save you get those, and then you save like £5 on the thing, and then you also get £4 credit because if you buy it in pounds because $1 is cheaper. So that's a good thing that GOG does. If it's different, they can't reduce the price, but they'll give you store credit.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's not the best solution, but it's better than Steam, which is just like fuck off. So
there's that. Once beyond a certain size, they don't really need to be nice anymore.
It's kind of weird still, like in my head it doesn't really sort of compute fully what is the point of having a client for something that is DRM free.
It does make there's still the problem of managing your game library, much like a music library, so I can understand that in that regard. And then a lot of people, some people I know are like, if it's not on Steam, I want to get it less because it's not in my game library, not organized, and so there is, I guess, that appeal as well.
Yeah, I guess.
But I love that they're like, we're getting this, we're doing this thing, we're even going to try some multiplayer stuff, but we're committed to DRM-free, no nonsense.
Yeah, and they also
What sets them apart.
they also have a 30-day money back thing.
That's great.
I think it's
What game can't you finish in 30 days?
I don't know. I guess if you keep doing it about every game, at some point they have somewhere in their legal whatever agreement they go like fuck you. But but generally they seem to be pretty good. Except for that one time when they their customer service person had an argument with a person who was upset about the joke.
Well, I mean, they
apologized
like,
and
God damn it, fuck GOG.
Yeah.
And then obviously the guy's supervisor was like, fuck you.
yeah. I
And
think
just like,
I think that's literally what happened.
which is good because like that shit was super inappropriate and their response to it was good.
Yeah. So they even have like achievements and stuff like that now put into it.
Oh.
Like it is again kind of like Steam. It
I
counts your.
think that wouldn't come across. But,
Oh well, yeah. I guess people really love their achievements, and the timer like how much you played, like times it, whatever, that kind of stuff.
That's
So
fine.
yeah. and
Stat stuff is always kind of
the
cool.
only thing that is like really crucial, I think, that it doesn't have is a pause button for a download, which is weird. So you have to actually close it fully. But I would think that when it's out of beta and into the full thing, it's probably gonna get in there. So I mean, generally, it's a good idea to have competition. So
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't really hear anything in any of this that I'm upset about at all.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
So that should be pretty cool. Some of the things that are less cool that we're gonna transition to is that the video that by accident I thought that it was actually new, but it turned out to be old. So the video I'm talking about is this one. So Star Citizen, a thing that is constantly happening,
Yeah.
but it has never happened.
Much like the Big Bang.
Yes, yeah, exactly. We're still moving further and further away from other possibly sentient beings in the universe, and Star Citizen is the fault. Is responsible for this. Anyway, so they have an FPS, if you haven't heard, also alongside their main game, I guess, or their title. I don't know how it works, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is one of the things I probably one of the few things I kickstarted. I went like, whatever. Why should I shouldn't have. But it was a long time ago. I was young. But I was literally young. This was like years ago, man. They've been in development. Yeah. It's
quite a
like,
while ago.
yeah. I have gray hair now. I didn't have that back then. Anyway, so they have an FPS thing, and I guess something new developments happened around the FPS. So someone posted about that, and they attached this video, which is actually like 7 months old or something. But I thought it was new, and so I kind of included it into this program. But it's still worth like talking about it because of how cringeworthy it is. Ed, how cringeworthy is it?
Okay, well, I'm going to tell the story of how I initially saw this, which is great because I sidestepped everything that was bad about it accidentally. So I was at work, and when you're at work, you look at YouTube videos and
Obviously.
Anyway,
Even
so-
I do that.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
linked me to this thing, and you're like, no, actually, it wasn't even you linking me to it. I think I saw you tweeted, "This is an insult. This isn't like a what did you say exactly?"
This isn't an FPS. This is an insult or something like that.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, Andrew's really pissed off. I better check this out. So I click the link, and I've got the sound off because I'm doing something else or whatever. I'm just like, well, yeah, maybe it's some feature of the FPS that's awful. And so I just kind of scrubbed through, and I'm like, okay, they're in spacesuits. Okay, it looks like Tony Stark. Is that why he's annoyed? I don't know. It looks kind of jank and a little bit dull, but otherwise doesn't offend me. Like, Andrew's really upset. Scrub. They're doing some shooting later on in 0G. Scrub. Okay, I don't know. It seemed fine. Maybe Andrew's sad. Maybe I should like send him some flowers.
And
so
he
later
did.
on, I talked to you about it, and I'm like, yeah, it seemed kind of dull. And you were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I watched it without sound, and you were like, oh.
Oh man, so what they do is, because you obviously can't hear it, is it's staged. It's a stage demonstration completely from beginning to end. Oh boy, is it staged! It's one of the most staged things I've ever seen, and even the stage was embarrassed that they were on. But they pretend it's not staged, and they do the military bro talk. I guess is the best way to describe this,
Yeah.
and it's the most horrible things you've seen. Like, I've seen stage stuff of Call of Duty, and this is worse.
Yeah, this was truly terrible. And I was
Yeah.
having thoughts while this was happening. They were saying things, but it wasn't having any impact on any of the decisions that they were making. They were like playing what looks basically could have easily have been like a slower version of Unreal Tournament. and they were saying like, the enemies could be anywhere. They're at my 40. Stay frosty. Check the corners. And nobody was doing any of that. They were just kind of getting hit and knocked out by AI. And it was almost as if I could see a Rolodex of cue cards and the main guy sort of struggling to read them and also play a game.
I think that the other team wasn't AI. It's worse. They were both human teams.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's even worse than you thought. But so imagine the level of scripting you need to do to begin with, where you need to tell them, okay, you guys got to lose. And it's not even like, but make it
everywhere.
But make it look like, and they'd have to probably like rehearse this. And there's like, you're not losing very well. I mean, come on, we gotta win this one. You're losing. Remember, you're the bad guys. Oh, okay, all right, okay, let's do it again. Oh, you forgot to say check them corners. Damn it. Okay, we start over. And then the entire charade.
You guys really need to see this all the way through if you haven't, just to fully grasp how brutal it is. And the thing is as well, the same day when I actually rewatched it with sound, and it took me a long time. Like, when I sit into the embarrassing shit, I watch a bit, I go, no, and I pause and walk away and do something else, and then I come back and watch another little bit. So it took me like 5 hours to actually watch the 7-minute video. But right afterwards, I watched a dyslexia video. I need to rinse my mouth out. And what interested me was the same kind of military stuff's going on, not as much talking. He's actually very... If you don't know dyslexia, he does armor videos with his clan Shaktaks, like the biggest, sort of most kind of well-run armor community that kind of there is, and a lot of our stuff is influenced by that. Anyway, so he posts a lot of videos of these scenarios they do, and in this one, he's talking to his fire team leaders, really like snappy, simple stuff. They go away and do it. There's nothing to say. Nobody fucking says anything, and there's casual talk as well in between. It feels natural, and you should. Always with this kind of thing, let it feel natural. If there's nothing to say because you guys are in a corridor shooter, don't say anything. Also, look at this guy. Look at this outfit they put this poor bastard in.
That's the main dude.
What is it? What are in those pouches?
This is his game. He's the guy. I forgot his name, but he's the dude who's making both of them, I believe. I'd
like that. Why is he dressed like a bad guy from Bill and Ted?
Because I think what they went with there is a futuristic outfit or something. Like, he is sci-fi.
Yeah, he's elite and dangerous.
Yeah. So, unfortunately. I mean, there's been... I've seen a couple of there. This is like, was presented live, I think, at PAX or somewhere. And
it was one of the PAXs.
So, they've done a few of those, and they're always like, they have always people in the crowd who go. I always wonder if they're paid to do this, or they're like somehow. Yeah, they just go. There's a spaceship. Hype men, yeah, it's essentially hype men. There's a spaceship goes by on the screen, obviously not in real life. We don't really have that many spaceships, as a civilization, and they go, "Whoa!" It's like, okay, but like you play video games, right? This is not the. I mean, I would imagine if someone. Like a Mowgli kind of type of, or whatever the pronunciation is, Mowgli kind of type of thing, where like some feral child, found in the jungles and brought to the civilization. Put in this audience in PAX, and there's like a spaceship going on. He would go, whoa! But not like someone who's been like playing with spaceships for the entire life. I don't know. It's very, very strange. And there's a bit where like there's another video like this where they put a helmet on in the game, not like an actual helmet, but so the character puts on a helmet and the HUD goes on.
And everyone freaks their shit.
Yeah, and everyone completely freaks their shit. And it's like, guys, it's called animation. And it was alright, I guess. It was an alright animation, but I don't know.
The most offensive part of this video is actually the part I'm seeing, it may be further on for you now. It was the gravity bit. So the guy, it breaks in the middle, and the guy starts talking about gravity. He says, well, that was... FPS shooting, you've seen that, and that's pretty exciting, but now, what if we turn off the gravity? And so everyone hears him say this.
Yeah.
And then they move back to their staged thing, and then one of them is like, what's going on? The reactor, it's shut down, the gravity's gone, and then everyone groans like it's news to them. And I groaned as well, but I was just groaning for a different reason. It was just like, what the fuck?
But hey, what if, like, imagine they're sitting like that, and their desktop, whatever, their computers, and they had an agreement that the guy on the right of this dude, the guy who was supposed to be like surprised, so the guy on his right and the guy on his left, each of them put like finger in his ears, so he wouldn't hear the bit about the gravity. And then, but he didn't realize that because they were really, really subtle about it, and so he didn't realize the fingers were there because he was already engaged with the game, and then that's why he was extra. So he didn't hear it. He genuinely noise cancelling headphones. I don't know. Maybe could be that. That's what happened.
Bullshit cancelling headphones.
Oh yeah, it could be also that. Oh man, if those existed, can you imagine?
If so, I could get some work done.
Announce that you're putting them on as well.
Yeah. I'm just putting on these marketing bullshit filtering headphones, and all I hear is just like strings and choir singing and just keys. And I'm just clicking away, just like, oh, I'm getting loads done. All around me, these people are waving their arms and saying directionality, granularity, and at end of play, we really need to touch base. Touch base on my penis, you fucking idiots.
Excellent. This should be integrated in one of those Microsoft Holo things, where because they could do that with that. You could have like filters and if because I would assume it'd like attach some headphones to it as well, so you could filter the reality. For example, you could have an ad block on the Holo thing.
For reality.
Yeah. So every time there's an ad, it blocks it out and it turns into flowers.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Can we patent this?
Useful idea I've ever heard for like ARG augmented reality stuff. It is just an ad block that works in the real world.
Yeah.
I can ride trains again.
It'd be pretty cool. Or it could turn into some other ads, like, or not ads, but something like, I don't know, like quotes from literature. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. It could be whatever. It could be whatever you want it to be. But then they could be like, or Digbot everywhere. But then they could be also, people could use it in a very, not necessarily illegal way, but in a very strange way. Like, for example, imagine someone's racist and they're turning all the Asian people into
British flags.
British flags, yeah. Or something like that. I mean, because you could augment anything you want, or everyone is a sexy lady, or something.
Sexylady.exe. Let me just run that away.
Yeah. As hacking on the train, I'm in. Everyone's a sexy lady.
I don't see the train anymore. I just see blondes, redheads, brunettes. Oh dear. Oh man.
And it's out this year, the Christmas season, and it costs like £500 or something. Should be, or something like that. Maybe 6. Wow. It could be 7.
Ask Santa nicely.
Yeah, actually, what they said is it's going to be more expensive than a console. So up to
pitch, was it?
Yeah, up to £1 million. I don't know. I mean, £1 million is more expensive than a console.
It certainly is.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Of a single console that costs that much.
But if that thing lets you turn everything into turn furniture into sexy ladies or something, that could be pretty big. People be bumping into shit all the time.
Oh.
And they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see the chair."
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were a sexy lady.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "What?
Is that guy talking to a chair?" How did we get here?
We were talking about Star Citizen FPS, and we ended up at
sexy lady furniture. So this is pretty good. I like that.
We'll have to check the tapes.
I think so. Yeah. So another thing that happened this week is probably the final thing we're going to mention today. It's a very important event. One that was celebrated by every media outlet all around the world. 10 years since the reenactment of the foolish activity of Leroy Jenkins. And
so
that video is a reenactment.
Video?
Oh yeah, no, there's no original footage. That video is.
Like I had heard that before, but I couldn't remember if that was.
Yeah, no.
That's the case.
They were not recording the original thing, but they thought it was funny, and they were like, "Hey, you know what? Let's reenact it." So no one
play it quite well for a fake thing by nerds. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, that the number crunching bit. I don't know why they put that in.
That made no sense to me ever. I was not sure why that came up. I don't know what that was meant to be.
Maybe that's some sort of inside joke.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But like the delivery I suppose that makes sense why I didn't hear any homophobic, racist, sexist stuff.
Exactly,
They-
because it was reenacted. It was filtered
Like,
with
well, these just seem like
VR.
a bunch of goofballs who just, oh well, their raid went wrong.
Yeah, and none of them even says like, do they even use swear words?
No, they don't. I
Yeah.
rewatched it just before all of this. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, their mics are clipping like crap. This sounds like a nice amateur thing. This is the thing. It's well cut. Well, you know, it's the edit is of a nice point. Shows the whole narrative. It's pretty funny, and there's nothing that really spoils it. So in that way, I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. But like the acting, I guess
Yeah.
feels very natural. Like it's a fun video.
Yeah. Yeah, they did okay, but yeah, and apparently it's a big deal. It's 10 years. I wonder if it's just because none of them said anything why it's a big deal. It's 10 years. They just say,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, 10 years from Leroy Jenkins." I wonder if it's just because they feel they're just getting old, like all these guys who watched it 10 years ago, including us, and they wanted to.
Well, I don't know. I
Let the
feel
world
like I'm getting
know.
old. I mean, you know, intellectually, I must be getting old, especially intellectually.
But what you're saying is you have a body of an 18-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That is
18.
that is exactly what I was saying.
Precisely. You're condensed exactly what I was saying down
Yeah.
to its core. No, I don't know what I'm saying. What are we talking about?
Why
was this?
why
spoken about?
Leroy Jenkins
why
is-
does anyone give a fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Why does I don't know. When I first saw it, I thought it was What was
So
your?
who reported it? Like, we're looking at this Polygon article, but
There
other
was-
people did as well.
There's Eurogamer as Polygon. I think there was Kotaku. I'm pretty sure there was also Rock Paper Shotgun who did the same thing as well.
10 years of Leroy.
Odok says he has a body of an 18-year-old. He keeps it in the fridge.
Oh, dog. So, Dorkly, Time magazine, Business Insider.
There you go.
This is a lot of people who I think are. I mean, Blizzard Watch makes sense.
Yeah.
Is
Is that type
But
of
I think-
smartwatch?
Destructoid, yeah, everyone just kind of went, oh, okay, I guess
Yeah.
this is happening today. So somebody must have broke. I don't know how this really generally works, but I assume somebody broke it, and then the others were like, oh, we should do one of
Yeah.
these as well.
And it sounded exactly what you read exactly like that. It was like, oh, they're just going like, oh.
Yeah, it read like a press release, copied and pasted into the right format for
Yeah.
websites.
Yeah. I guess people still yell Leroy Jenkins when they're doing something dashing.
The further you get from the invention of the thing, and I don't mean it just in time. I mean, if it wasn't you, that's not your game. If you weren't there, the more kind of fake it sounds. It's just like, well, it's like how getting a T-shirt of something. I don't know, like the Che Guevara T-shirt. Someone gets a Che Guevara T-shirt now. You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's cute. What the fuck are you? It feels a bit like that, or like seeing memes appear in games. Don't put memes in things. Never put memes in anything. That was like when in TV people mentioned the internet. You're not really meant to, or you are kind of now, but it took a long time because no one really understood it.
Did you? Oleg was saying that it was the first viral video game video. Maybe.
I find that hard to believe.
I don't know.
Sure, surely there was before that.
But there was no YouTube before that. What did people use before YouTube?
Newgrounds?
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Yes, there's that.
Yeah.
Oh, look up Skeet Fighter. Don't look up Skeet Fighter.
That sounds a bit more like porn.
You are not wrong.
All right.
Oh dear. Oh, Sapphire Tuna wants us to close it out on what we think about Gamergate. Jesus.
I think that should be like an entire episode dedicated to it if we ever do that, because that's...
Andrew, I think
Let's
I
not
need
do
to
it.
Go to the corner shop before we do something like that. I think we'll need to get some fucking whiskey.
we could do a special if you're drunk.
I can do a very, very short
Do it.
reaction. I'm not going to summarize it. I'm just going
Oh,
to...
is it gonna be like Family Guy?
What I feel about it. It's going to be real simple, don't worry.
All right, do it.
Okay, so anyone who's still involved in it, who tweets Gamergate, uses hashtag Gamergate, all the hanger-on idiots are kind of gone, so you're just a monster. There was a period where it was you were either a monster or you were just kind of not very smart, but now it's just monsters, and they should all be gassed. So there you go.
I think this is an excellent point to end the show on. And this is pretty much what you guys will can expect from us. It goes as if like it's a normal show, and we talk about stuff that other people also maybe talk about, and then we're gassing people near the end before bumping into
group of people.
Yeah, we're just almost like we're hardly done bumping into sexy lady furniture, and here we are gassing others who are not sexy ladies apparently. So
there might be some sexy ladies in Gamergate, I don't know.
Monster sexy ladies?
They'd have to be.
Right. So like 8-foot tall furniture sexy lady gamer gators. This show is going to be happening every week unless we are incapacitated by work.
Immediately cancelled.
Or we get a bomb threat, in which case we're going to do 2 episodes a week.
Yeah, I was going to make the same joke.
So you may be watching this on YouTube. In that case, there should be links to the stuff that we're talking about down there in the description. At least the ones I didn't forget to put in there.
Yeah, the Street Fighter.
No, I'm not gonna put that.
You had to look that up.
That sounds like straight up porn. I'm not gonna.
Dude, you're not wrong.
All right, because the channel could be bad for that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, then you can also watch this live. So far, every Thursday evening in Europe. Today it was 10 p.m. BST. Could be a bit different, but we usually announce it, so you can catch that on our Twitch channel if you follow us there. And if you like this kind of stuff, we have a Patreon down there. You can give us $1 or more, so we can do more of this and talk about bomb threats. On that happy thought, thank you for watching. Hope this was educational, and bye. We'll see you later. Bye. Goodbye, everybody. I'm gonna turn this off now.